Hi everyone, my name is Tracy Chanyalu, and I'm here today to show you some iPad basics. Watch very carefully as there will be some challenges along the way. Okay, let's get started. This is the first screen you'll see when you wake up your iPad by clicking the Home button. The Home button is located on the short side of the iPad with a white rectangle. Once you have your screen on, slide to unlock. This will take you immediately to the home screen of the iPad. The home screen contains many frequently used apps such as Safari, Mail, Photos, and Music. Now let's talk a little bit about the Home button. Again, it's on the short side of the iPad with the white rectangle located here. The Home button is going to become probably your best friend on the iPad. A single click will always return you back to the home screen. You can be anywhere. It'll return you back. A double click of the Home button will pull up a multi-app view of all the apps on the iPad and pages you through, especially the frequently used ones. You'll notice also that the icon of the app is at the bottom of the screen. This little blue dot means that the app has been updated recently. So you can scroll through these and then you click on the app that you want to select. One more click and it pulls you back to the home screen. Now for one of the most useful features in the iPad called the Spotlight Search. For those of you who are Mac users, you will recognize the name. The search on the iPad will search all content for a specific set of characters. So all that you do is swipe down between any of the icons and you'll notice quickly that the search came up. Let's search for Puppet Pals. There it is, and it's a top hit, which means I've used it a lot of times. And we can click on it from there and it opens the app. That's the Spotlight Search, and it searches. It's time for challenge number 1. You have 3 minutes. Now I want to show you one of the most frequently used features on the iPad, and that's the screenshot. You know, a lot of times you'll be in an app or a program and you want to take a screenshot of where you are. For instance, here I just searched in Amazon for books on Ethiopia. Let's say that I wanted to take a screenshot of that. I simply hold the home button and the on-off button at the same time, and you heard a click, that's the screenshot. Now, if I go out of the browser and I go into Photos, you'll notice right here at the bottom, I have my Amazon screenshot. So again, a very, useful and frequently used feature. Now for some organizational tips on the iPad. If you want to organize apps into groups, let's say one for reading apps, one for math apps, or you can create another group for differentiation. You can group apps by creating a folder, just like you do on your computer. Here's how. Let's say that I want to group these 4 math apps, Hungry Fish, Zoom, Mathboard, and Grade 3 Splash Math, all into one folder. I simply click on one of the apps that I want to arrange, and you'll notice that apps, they start jiggling, or the icons start jiggling, and they have a little X. This is the way that you move or delete apps on the iPad. So anytime you have a jiggling, that means you can do something with the apps on the screen. If I want to exit the jiggling, I just hit the home button one time. See, new best friend, the home button. So let's do it again. Hold, oops, sorry about that. Hold the icon. Now, it's good. Oh, it wants to give me some alerts. Okay, so now the apps are jiggling. I simply drag the app icon over to another one and I drop it. Now that automatically created a folder called Education, but I don't want to call it Education, so I'll rename it Math for ES. Okay, now that I have my folder, we click out again. We still have the jiggling apps. I can move the other 2 apps right into that folder simply by dragging them across. Okay, yes, it's a little finicky sometimes. Okay, oops, hey. There he goes. Now you can see that I have all my Math for ES grouped together. And now I just hit the home button and they won't jiggle anymore. All my changes are saved, and I've created my first folder. Next organizational tip on the iPad is that you can move frequently used programs or apps to the bottom tray for quick access. The bottom tray is located on the bottom of the iPad screen and normally has Safari, Mail, Photos, and Music. I happen to have Google Translate also in the bar. Let's add Park Map to the bottom tray because my students use it very frequently. You simply hold the app again to get them jiggling, and you drag it right down into the bar. Now if I want to take Google Translate out at the same time, I can. Just hold it there. Okay? Single press on the home button stops the jiggling again. You can change the apps in the bottom tray whenever you want to use it to place apps where younger students can find them easily. It's time for challenge number 2. Now for some features that you may have stumbled upon in the past when you used the iPad but did not realize exactly how they work. The iPad has what is called multitasking gestures. Okay, let's open one app. Okay, this one's called Stuck on Earth. Okay, and now let's say, oh, I don't want to use that right now. I want to go to another app that I'd already opened. You simply swipe with 4 fingers across and you can toggle between multiple apps. See? And now we got back to the 5 fingers or 3 fingers where we're in a multiple selection. Okay? Sometimes it's not exact and it's a little bit tricky depending on which app you're in, but again it gives me the choice to be able to swap between apps instead of going out and in, which you used to have to do all the time. Okay? So I'll exit that. Actually, without hitting the home button, let's show you a different way of closing an app. You take 5 fingers and you simply pull it together, and you'll notice that it closed the app and it came back to the main screen. Again, if I double click, I can go back through here. Let's go into Reading Raven, and I use my 5 fingers and I close it out. Another interesting thing is if you double click and you're paging between these, you can simply throw away one that you don't want in the multi-app list anymore. You just throw it away. This is very intuitive now. I didn't have this before iOS 7. Okay, and we're back in our math app. Let's close it. Let's close it. There we go. So those are some multitasking features. 4 fingers for switching between apps, 5 fingers for closing an app, and throwing away to close the app. It's time for your third and final challenge.